everybody.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Lydia Cornell's in the house.
Bravo,
Woo!
bravo.
Everybody.
May I help you?
Yes. Hi. Yeah, I'm interested in buying a bra. It's not for me. No.
No,
it's not for me.
For your sweetheart or your wife, girlfriend?
Actually, my housekeeper.
Oh,
Yeah.
housekeeper. Okay.
I'm not making it up. It's really not for me.
Fine. Okay. No, it's not. Of course, it's not for you.
Tell me you believe me. It's
I
important
believe
to
you.
me.
Of course not.
Okay. You know, not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, because I know.
No, but there is something wrong with it. What am I saying? Not that there's anything. There's
Okay,
a lot
well,
wrong
you can't
with
say
it.
that in this day and age.
I like to walk around with underwear on my head. Is there anything wrong with that? Is there something wrong with that? Yeah, there's something wrong with that.
Very funny.
All
Well,
right,
so you really do need a bra then?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
for a
Something
woman.
comfortable.
Okay.
She hasn't worn one in 15 years. I need something comfortable.
Not a French maid outfit?
No, it's not a lacy
Oh,
French
'cause
maid
we have
outfit.
lots of those.
This feels very nice.
Yes, this
Ooh.
is our revolutionary
Feel this
elasticine.
thing. Yeah.
This is the one.
Lovely.
This is the best bra we make.
Oh, it's so
Smooth,
soft.
very
I like
smooth.
that. I like
In
that.
fact, this one
Why don't
lifts.
they make underwear out of this stuff?
They do.
You know?
We have matching panties. We
No,
have a
for
special.
me, for men.
See, that's why I'm saying feel free to try on anything here that you want. We have a completely.
Are you out of your mind? I'm not saying it's for me. It's not for me.
No,
I'm
I
just
mean-
saying this kind of foamy, soft
Isn't it
material
wonderful?
would be nice, you know, down there
So
for me.
smooth,
But
yes.
what? That doesn't make me a pervert just because I want to wear
There's nothing
underwear
perverted
made
about
out of a bra. That doesn't make me a pervert.
Let's start. Let's figure out what this woman.
A force beyond my control veered me straight over to the yoga rack where I got on my knees and pretended to search for a book. I was right near his feet. I could see his toes sticking out of his sandals. He had big toes. Like a Roman emperor. I could feel his eyes burning down on me. I didn't know what to say. I finally looked up and said, "I'm trying to find God. Do you know any good books?" He started mumbling something I was hardly listening to. I remember being charmed by his stuttering and his quiet spirituality. But mainly it was his ponytail that turned me on.
Well, I just had the most amazing experience with a woman in the chocolate shop. She gave me an epiphany about letting go.
Can I take your order?
Yeah, I'll have the falafel with tabbouleh and hummus on a bagel.
Are you sure you want to mix Jewish with Arab?
Oh, then put the bagel on the side. I'll just have the check.
Cool boots.
Thanks. They're cantaloupe.
The rotten, Lexi.
You can't say something nice, just don't comment.
Everybody had a crush on this beautiful, stunning, wonderful woman. And let me tell you, I have to do the introduction, the little introduction. I mean, the AFI Best Actress nominee and People Choice Award winner. She has been in Quantum Leap, Hotel, Knight Rider, Curb Your Enthusiasm, The Love Boat, Dukes of Hazzard, Fantasy Island. I could keep on going. We all know her as Sarah Rush, the daughter of Emmy-winning TV legend Ted Knight in the ABC hit TV series Too Close for Comfort. And she is an advocate for women and children and for everyone. Here she is, Lydia Cornell.
Thank you so much, David. What a beautiful introduction. I'm very flattered. Thank you. And honored to be here and to see all of you.
Oh, thank you for being here. It's magic today. It's magic to have you here.
Sweet. Thank you.
And again, stunning. You are just beautiful.
Oh,
Just beautiful.
thank you so much. It's
Well, I have the first question. I usually don't ask this as a first question, but I wanted to throw this out. What brings you the most joy in your life?
To be honest, my son, my child, and living, trying to spy on him on Instagram and find out what he's doing, number one.
Ah,
Because he's at that age where he doesn't want mom to know everything. He's in his 20s. So, but creating and writing and doing comedy and sort of letting the agony of auditioning go away and doing my own creative work. So I'm writing a book right now. I'm writing a screenplay. We're doing a reboot of Too Close for Comfort that we have in the works. Well, we're pitching it, but the pitch deck is ready. We wrote a really funny script.
right.
I really love the creative process, all forms of it. And I love theater acting on stage.
Well, I have a question about, I know that you have directed and you have your film that you did.
It's my decision.
It is your decision. It's my, it's my decision, and you won Best Director for it. Are you thinking of also directing some of the upcoming shows?
Oh gosh, I'd love to. Yes. I mean, it's every actor's dream is to direct because we're power hungry, but that's not really true. A lot of actors. No Putin jokes.
Oh, right.
Oh
God.
No authoritarianism in America anymore. I love directing, and it was so fun to come up with ideas. They gave me a little script. This friend of mine asked me to direct this short film that was very funny with a twist ending. And automatically I decided to put it in a mafia restaurant and have the head boss fear the people that are powerful always fear who's behind them. They don't want to sit with their back to the room. And out of that came all these creative ideas. And I cast a wonderful actor as one of the spies in the room, the restaurant. So you start, just one creative idea can spark the next. And you never stop. That's why directing's fun. You get to create the whole atmosphere of the movie.
Yeah.
From the music to the actors to the tone. And to make the jokes work. And you work with the camera people. It's really fun.
Right. I'm excited that, I mean, you have starred in over 250 TV movies and film in 27 countries. What is your advice for everybody about success? What is a success to you?
Oh boy, it's a long journey. It was a long journey to get to the point where I feel so happy inside that I no longer look outside myself for success. I did in the beginning of Hollywood. And it was very, very painful to constantly look at other people and say, do I look pretty enough? Am I cute enough? Am I thin enough? No, it took, the truth is women, and I don't want to be a victim here, but women throughout our society have been forced to stay in a certain kind of body shape and a body image. And I think once we let go of that, we have the freedom inside to do whatever we want, because there's beauty in every human being. And now more and more that's coming out in our society. But in my day, in the 80s, I was told I had to be skinny, thin, with big boobs and be a sex symbol. And you can't keep that up very long once you get pregnant and have a baby, or you gain a little weight, or you age past 30. So I went through that process of feeling thrown away at a certain age. And that's when I really dug deep inside and found my soul. It was a process. And I had to throw away the old ideas that I had to, and I still, worry about how I look, but I care less about it. And I began writing my own work, writing my own monologues, my own comedy. I did stand-up comedy, and I started writing a deep book on the Stalin Trotsky assassination that now is going to be ready to sell as a feature film. And now I'm writing a book called Hiding My Brain in My Bra. It's about the crazy, crazy showbiz stories and how to navigate life in Hollywood as a woman. And I had a very rough childhood, and I know, we all had something. We all have our issues. But our job here on this planet is to overcome our deep insecurities and our fears and learn to be of love and service to others. That's when everything opened up for me again. And it's like magic happened when I stopped being self-centered.
How long did it take to switch when did you switch from being self-centered to just loving everyone or healing the world kind of feel?
When I had a crash and burn in 1994 and I couldn't quit drinking, and in one day, I went into a recovery meeting and I heard this concept of surrender. Surrender your ego, your human will, your constant fear and worry. Maybe there is a force in the universe of love that can pick us up and love us. It's love. And in this meeting, I heard so many people sharing their experience, strength, and hope that I walked out of there and never had another drink the rest of my life. So far, it's 28 years ago. And that opened the door. It was a miracle. I call it a miracle, and I'm not religious, but I do believe in a higher power of love, a force of love in the universe that carries you when you surrender. All you have to do, I had to admit it out loud. And the minute I raised my hand and admitted I had a problem, it's like 20 years of hell and pain and grief just flowed off. I started weeping and crying, and I felt lifted up. And I'm not kidding, it was very strange. And then all these coincidences happened in the room with other people. They had my exact story almost to the T, the same exact story in one case of a resentment I had. I was carrying a resentment for 20 years against my mother for something. And for one of the issues was she gave away, this is going to sound really petty and immature, but she gave away my Barbies when I was, they were like the dolls that I knew would be worth a fortune one day. And I thought, well, I have the original Barbie Ken and Midge. I hid it in this dark corner of the attic. I said, whatever you do, Mom, never give these away. And of course, she gave them away. She gave away everything I ever loved. And I resented her for so many years over this. We had knockdown, drag out fights when Barbie became, the vintage Barbie skyrocketed in value, and they did a Barbie musical on Broadway they were planning. And I couldn't forgive her until that day that I walked into that meeting and raised my hand and I surrendered all this pain. That wasn't the only thing. There were many abusive incidents in my childhood, but I totally forgave her. And that's when all the good started happening.
What hit me right now was the forgiveness, because so much we hold it inside, and instead of it hurts ourselves more than anybody else, doesn't it?
Absolutely. When you hate someone, the poison, this is the old motto. When you're pointing the finger at someone, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. You're hurting yourself. Hatred only hates the person that drinks the poison of hatred. You can't carry that around. But you have to wear the world as a loose garment. I think that's St. Francis said that. Just not be so affected by other people's opinions, and just find out what to love about yourself, because we're so unique, all of us.
Yeah. We're talking about your family. I wanted to bring up another family member that you could talk about, is your grandmother. Or is it, it's your great-great-grandmother.
Great-great-grandmother. My grandfather's name is Henry Ward Beecher Stowe, and his grandmother was Harriet Beecher Stowe, who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, which Abraham Lincoln, she and Abraham Lincoln, I think together, started the Civil War, which ended slavery. And she was an abolitionist. She hated slavery, and she was such a good woman. And in those days, women weren't allowed to vote. So she had to write a book to try to convince people that slaves were real people, that Black people were people. They were equal. Can you believe it? It was only 100 and something, 50 years ago?
I still think I'm from another planet, because I don't understand the, people put people on certain levels. I truthfully think women should run the world, because we'd be in a much better place.
Yeah, I do too, because we're mothers. And I think we feel, there are some women that I wouldn't want to run the world, but gazpacho anyway. But I don't know, I just feel liberated from my own fears. I think maybe getting older helps, because you finally accept. What I love the most is the acceptance prayer. Accept life on life's terms. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And when I'm stressed over this war in Ukraine, and I'm so worried about people, I have friends there. And I have a friend in Russia who writes me secret messages against Putin, and she doesn't know if she'll be caught. I have to say, I have no control over this. I can only grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And takes the burden off. You can't carry the world on your own shoulders. You can only do good in your little bit of your world, do as much good as you can for others, and let that ripple out, because that really, really changes the world.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I think we're all going through, I mean, after 2 years of being locked up with COVID, and then we start to put our foot out, and then this, can I say asshole, starts dropping bombs
On innocent
and
people.
on these innocent, loving, amazing people. Our minds are like, we want to do something. And what you said there too, we can do stuff, but we have to, what you just said, the serenity prayer.
Serenity prayer. Do what you can. See, I was freaking out last week over the bombings and the civilians killed, the genocide, and the economy and gas prices and hatred and people fighting in my own Facebook page and in my own family. And I realized, wait a minute, what can I do to be good, be of love and service to others today? Oh, take a breath, step back, and do one good thing for someone. I called a friend who was struggling with fear over her heart surgery coming up. I did a good deed for my spouse. I called my son. I delivered candy. I don't know. You have to do something good in your own little world. Encourage someone. And prayer to me is the invisible transfer of love to another. So I hold good thoughts for others all the time. I try to see them thriving. That's the way to do it, not to beg and plead some anthropomorphic being in the sky, but to actually see them thriving, see people healing. It's different.
And yourself.
Yourself. Yeah, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first to save another person.
I forget that once in a while.
I do too.
You?
Take care of yourself and your inner life and be healthy, spiritually healthy. It starts with your thoughts though, because wherever your thoughts go, you go in that direction.
Yeah. And some of your thoughts, or a lot of your thoughts are put into words by writing books. What is it? You had something that stuck out to me, a human rights reader collection of poetry and essays. That's bringing out the love.
I wrote a lot of poetry early on, and I went through deep pain in life early on. And that's why I became an actor, to be honest with you. This is going to sound crazy, but a lot of actors had tough childhoods. And in my case, I did not feel I had unconditional love at home. So I went to seek the adoration of strangers in a bigger place. Like I thought, well, if my mom can't love me or my parents are too strict and critical, I'll get love from all these people. I'll become famous. And fame became my drug. Being famous is extremely hollow. That's ego. The ego is edging good out, or edging, that's an acronym. Some people say edging God out. But it's like your ego is when you're puffed up and you're so insecure inside that you need to be loved by masses of people. That's the wrong reason to enter show business. Show business it's full of so many creative people here, so many good people. Steven Spielberg and Aaron Sorkin and so many brilliant actors. Did you see the movie Coda?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, blew my mind. I voted for that in the SAG Awards. That is the best movie. That and Belfast, I thought were brilliant movies. Blew my mind, the creativity of people to write such a heartfelt, gorgeous movie with so many levels to it, with disabled people. And it made me feel what they feel. That's what showbiz is about. It's about helping communicate, show a mirror up to society, and let us see what other people feel, have more empathy for others. It's the only reason to get into showbiz, not because you're cute or pretty. That's what I thought in the beginning. You had to be beautiful, and then you're gonna,
Well, I think we're trained that way in a way by society or by the box that we watch growing up.
And advertising does that too.
And you saying about that and shifting your perspective on what it means to be an actor or a performer or a creator or an artist. And I am blessed that I shifted that too when I got to LA and met this wonderful woman, Mary Rings, who I was introduced to Born to Act players, and that opened the door to my new family, which ultimately is here at Performing Arts Studio West. And we have some of the family members I know, and I'll be throwing in other questions as we go along, but I want to bring in a few people who have said that they want to talk to you and connect with you. So we'll have some questions now. I know that, let's see, Zuli Johnson, we're going to start with you. Here we go.
Hello, buddy.
Hello.
Yes, I grew up watching you too. But I had a question for you. Is what the most exciting story that you know when you were working in a recording studio before you beat Ray in the TV series Too Close for Comfort?
Thank you so much for asking. Oh my gosh, do I have crazy stories? I wanted to break into showbiz so badly that I was in college in Boulder, Colorado, at University of Colorado. And I thought, I was head of the business school speakers bureau. And I thought, how can I break into Caribou Ranch, the recording studio up in Netherlands, where the Beach Boys, Billy Joel, Elton John was recording a few years later. It was the most famous place in Colorado. And it was harder to get into than the White House. And I couldn't break in. I always tried to sneak in places. Instead, I invited 3 concert promoters to come speak. And here's the serendipity. I believe in this kind of serendipity that when you put your intention towards something, doors start to open. And when you take one foot of action forward, another door opens. And I manifested it. It was the 3 speakers said, "You want to join us for dinner tonight at the Red Lion Inn," which is up in a canyon. I went, "Sure." And who was there but the owner of Caribou Ranch, whom I sat across from, they introduced me to, and he said, "Hey, why don't you come up to the ranch and get a job there?" And I worked there. Oh my God, my first job was picking Billy Joel and his band up from the airport in a snowstorm. And I crashed the entire Chevy. I didn't know how to drive 4-wheel drive, and I was pretending I did. And I crashed them into a snowbank.
Oh no! And they were in the car.
Billy, it wasn't bad. I mean, I hit the wall, right. And Billy, I got fired, and Billy Joel went and fought for my job back. And then I worked, and then I ended up being the ranch photographer, taking pictures of Joni Mitchell and Carole King. I was so starstruck. I was like a kid in a candy store. And I worked there for a year, and then I worked there the whole summer before senior year and the summer after. Before I came to LA, and I became a road manager of Michael Murphy, who did the song Wildfire. So it was a really interesting time. Thank you for asking. I forgot about that.
Oh, thank you, Zuli.
Zuli, I love your name.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Zuli. Sometimes we get a little frozen on Zoom. Let's see, we have, Julian Carrasco. Julian Carrasco is here, Dad.
What's the question now? How long did it take you to get into the acting business?
How long did it take me? Well, I was in every play in high school. I was very shy.
How long did it take her to act?
How long did it take me to act, to decide I wanted to get my first part, you mean? Oh, that was a crazy audition, but I'll tell that a little later.
No?
It took me only a year when I was in Hollywood, because I worked for Jack Webb Studios as an assistant, and then I sneaked onto the Paramount lot, and I went right into the Happy Days set, and I walked through the red door. There's a red light flashing, and they said, I walked right into the middle of a scene they were filming, or they were on a break for 2 seconds, and I went up to Jerry Paris and Gary Marshall. They were talking, and I said, "Are there any jobs here? I have a resume." And they went, "Darling, yes, but you walked right in the middle of a shot here. And there was Henry Winkler and Ron Howard sitting over there in the Arnold's Diner. And they made me sit aside for one more shot they were doing. And then they said, if you want a job, you can give your resume over here. And then I met Donnie Most, and we became good friends and started dating. And Donnie Most just directed me in a movie with Linda Pearl, a Zoom movie last year. It just got some awards. I should show it to you sometime.
Oh, I would love to see that.
10 minutes short, we played sisters. Linda Pearl and I played sisters. So anyway, I was so desperate to break into Hollywood, but I didn't know what to do. And so it was hard to get an agent and to figure out how to start. And I went on a date one night with an agent, and he took me to a restaurant called La Scala. And at the front booth was Natalie Wood, Fred Astaire, Natalie Wood, Fred Astaire, and Robert Wagner having dinner together at the front booth. And I was shaking. I was so starstruck. And I'm like 21 years old. No, older than that, actually. I was 23, I think. And the agent introduces us, and I'm shaking, and we sit across from them. And during dinner, Natalie Wood did this to me. She summoned me to their booth. This is so amazing. And I went, me? And I walked over there, and she said, Mr. Spelling would like to meet you. I guess Aaron Spelling meets all the, blondes in town. And he said, are you an actress? I said, yes. Would you like to be on a Love Boat? And I went, yes. Well, why don't you audition for my casting director, Kathy Henderson? Come in tomorrow to Warner Brothers. That's where they were, I think. And I went in and I got my first Love Boat. And I had no lines. Oh, yes, I had one line. And I blew the shot by looking right into the camera. And the director went, darling, another director, you don't look in the camera when we're acting. You pretend the camera isn't there. So I had to wear a bikini and play shuffleboard. So that's my first Love Boat. I did 6 Love Boats. Yeah. Later, I did 5 as a star of Too Close for Comfort. They always put these stars in Love Boats. But my first Love Boat was an unknown actor. And I got the job from Natalie Wood.
Wow.
My first break.
I love those stories. Thank you, Julian. That was a great question.
Thank you, Julian.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now let's see who we have next. Should we go for Alexandra Hart? Alexandra Hart, we'll unmute you and get you up there.
Hi, Alexandra.
Hello. My question is when did you start writing a book?
Oh God, that's embarrassing. I started writing the book a long time ago. My first book I wrote before I got the series, and I'd written this epic on Stalin, the dictator. And I really did a lot of research. And it was based on some photographs that the producer gave me at the Jack Webb Studios. My boss was a director named Georgie Sherman, and he directed a lot of John Wayne movies. I think Red River, I'm not sure. And Jane Mansfield movies. And he had the original Trotsky photos from the assassination in Mexico City, the original police photos. And he gave them to me and he said, what do you think of this? It's a great story, right? And I went, let me write it. And I wanted to prove to him I could write something. But instead I got carried away writing a book. And the book, I took it to CAA. I walked in there, I didn't know who they were. They were like a literary agent at the time. They weren't as big as they are now. And they grabbed the book and they represented it. And right after they got the book, I got Too Close for Comfort and I stopped writing the book. Cut to 20 years later, I was having a baby and I finished the book. And then I didn't sell it yet. I started writing Hiding My Brain in My Bra in 2015. And it should be done by now, and it's almost finished. My mother died a year ago. I started taking care of both parents, my mom and stepdad, the past 3 years. Or actually from 2016 to 2020 when they died. My mother died in 21. So that took up a lot of time, and I changed the story to a more linear biography rather than just a series of silly essays about being a woman.
Right.
Thank you for asking. That was a long answer. I'm sorry.
No, I loved it. Thank you so much for that question.
Thank you for that, Alex.
I'm just hearing your stories, and they're so. You're just so there. You're just so honest and real, and it's so refreshing and loving. And thank you.
But I've had a lot of embarrassing, really silly moments in my life. And the book is a lot about those things.
Yeah.
The most hilarious experiences in spiritual growth and in meeting celebrities and getting through Hollywood,
Right. And you know what I love too is that it's been taking you a little while to get to it. I mean, it's been 15 years now since we shot this documentary, but did you see Crip Camp last year? The movie Crip Camp.
What?
The movie Crip Camp.
I think I did, yes.
Well, they filmed this footage in the 60s. So I have this footage from 15 years ago, and it gave me the inspiration and the knowledge that, hey, you can still do it. You can still go forward and do it when the time is right, it'll come out.
Oh, David, thank you for bringing that up. I have to say this. I'm really grateful you said that, and it's never too late. Never too late. But I had a greedy ambition about this book 3 years ago. I was like desperate to get it going. I wanted to become famous as an author. And I write a lot every day, and I do a lot of comedy. And everything I've written since I got sober has humor in it. I started seeing the world differently through the lens of humor. I could laugh at myself finally, instead of crying over everything. But this past year, a lot of that old icky, greedy desperation has gone away. And I feel really focused on the true, authentic lesson behind the story now. So it seems like a more honest version of the book. I didn't have that book a year ago, before my mom died. I found letters she wrote. I forgave. There's a lot of beautiful things that happened in the journey of the writing and learning. So it wasn't ready till it's ready. It's never ready till it's ready.
Right.
You know, when you've got lots of time, David, just start doing it,
Thank you. Well, one foot in front of the other, so to say, right? Yeah. Oh, we have, I believe, Gary. Gary, you sent in a question. Let me add you. There we go.
Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted.
Okay, great. Well, I didn't know you were so spiritual. I had a different question, but I'm going to ask the question I sent in. What was it like working with Ted Knight and Jim J. Bullock together?
Okay, first of all, I don't know if everyone knows this, but I had a crush on Jim Bullock. Mad crush on him in the first 6 months of the show. And, and he's gay, it turns out. We didn't know that at the time, but I was madly in love with him to the point where I couldn't go to work without I was shaking inside. I mean, it's so silly, but he would make me laugh so hard backstage. And there were scenes we had where the Sarah Monroe would come in through the staircase. He'd have to walk up the back stairs behind the set, and I was behind him. And he'd wiggle his butt in my face. And he'd turn around and make me stick his tongue out at me right before I went on the set. And I would forget my lines and I would giggle. And this was a constant thing where he would make me laugh. I fell in love with anyone who could make me laugh. And then we were on Jenny Jones' show, some talk show together. And she said, "You're the only one who didn't realize he was gay." I'm like, I know, he was so cute. But he also was my best friend in high school, was a guy named Monroe. And he looked exactly like him. But he was gay too. So we were best friends. And we were in the drama club together and did all the plays together. We did Othello, but I didn't get to play Desdemona. I played a torchbearer with big sideburns standing behind Desdemona. He and I were always these weird characters because we were so nerdy, which was great. Nerds are in now, but at the time
they weren't. Yeah.
No, but oh God, I love Jim Bullock. We're still best friends today.
Oh, that's great.
We're BFFs. I call Deborah and Jim and I and Nancy. And we just had lunch. We talk all the time. We had lunch not long ago to get together for the reboot concept. And then Ted, he was like a real dad. We got in trouble with him a lot. There's an incident on the Merv Griffin show, which I told on a cameo video, which was so embarrassing. They had to shut down the show because Deborah and I said the wrong thing. It was horrifying. We didn't mean to say it, but Ted was on the show with us with Nancy and Audrey Meadows. It was a cast show, and Merv Griffin was asking us, what's Ted really like? And Deborah, to be funny, she said, and I was in the green room with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta back in those days. I was waiting to go on as the last guest on Too Close for Comfort. And he asked Deborah, who played Jackie, my sister, what's Ted Knight really like? And she went, well, he's kind of a kinky dad. Went, what does that mean? And she looked at Ted, and Ted went, what? And then they cut the commercial break, and they go, now we're going to bring out the youngest member of the Rush family, Lydia Cornell. And I come out nervous again, like my first talk show. And I sit down, and he goes, what did she mean by kinky? And I said, to be funny, I made this up. I said, well, he likes to look down our bras and lift our skirts and pop our bra tops now and then and throw spit wads in our bras. I said something like that. Well, the truth is we did a lot of pranking on the set like that. Like they would throw spit wads into our tops, and it was nothing dirty, but I made it sound.
Oh, no.
Deborah and I were there like this, and no one laughed. And the whole audience got really quiet. And Deborah and Ted's wife is on the front row, and she's like, and Ted is over there, and his blood is boiling, and he's looking at me like, what? And I think I passed out. We both just, they shut down the show, and they had to cut that part out.
Oh,
Me too. That was a completely
This is great.
stupid fake thing that we made up.
Oh, thank you.
it's interesting. It's like, oh, let's be witty on the show, and it backfires. It's like, no, I didn't mean that. It was a joke.
Our skirt. I don't know where that came from. I think we had one time we had a basketball game where everybody was throwing things at each other, and Jimmy might have done that, Bullock, but oh my God, can you imagine? And then afterwards, Deborah and I were so scared of Ted was like really mad. And he goes, that's okay. They cut that out. And we went home together and stayed up all night worrying. We went to work the next day. We stood outside his dressing room and said, we're sorry. And he was acting really mean, like George C. Scott and Patton. And he goes, and then he burst out laughing. And he said, it's okay. It's erased. It's gone. It's over. So he could be really fun. But at times he could be a real jerk. I mean, it was hard working with a superstar like that. Because I got so nervous, I couldn't look him in the eyes when we're filming sometimes. So I'd look above to his forehead, and he'd have to stand on his toes. We had to he'd go, why isn't she looking me in the eye? And I was just green and nervous in the beginning.
Right.
And the National Enquirer was there to report on all the gossip on the set. It was crazy. Being on a TV show, a hit TV show, is crazy.
Well, it's interesting too to hear, the process of someone who has done so much work like you have, that at the beginning, hey, we're all, green. We all have to grow into those flowers, into the butterflies. So, yeah. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you.
Oh, how fun these stories. Hey, we have the wonderful Pam Rauka. Pam.
Hi, David.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, I'm Lydia Cornell.
How are you?
Fine. I watch your show all the time. I really like it. I think you're a great actress. I want to know, how many hours did you start working on a show like every season? Too Close for Comfort.
How many hours?
Yeah, how many hours you start working on it, and then they probably film you and stuff.
Okay, each show was, here's what we would do. We did 26 shows one year. We did 22 shows a year. We did 3 shows, 1 week for each show. Each show took a week, and then we'd have a week off, which is pretty luxurious hours. But here's what happened. Monday morning, we'd go in and have a table read. And we would go in late because Ted didn't want to get up early on Monday. So we go in at 11 a.m. on Monday. And we'd read at the table in our own private, without the producers there, just the children, the actors. And on our sound stage, we wouldn't be on the stage all the time. We'd be, in the beginning, we were on the stage. John Ritter from Three's Company would pop in and say hi. So we'd always have fun with McLean Stevenson or John Ritter, who was, Jack Ritter on Three's Company.
Yeah, John Ritter, Three's Company.
Jack Tripper. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was fun, and we'd all make jokes all day long. We'd pretend to study, but we were just children. By Tuesday, we'd get on our feet with the director, and he'd move his podium around and say, would do the blocking, which means you stand there, Lydia. Monroe comes in the door, he screams, and then Ted sees him and he comes from the bedroom. So we'd block the show, which means you'd have your script in your hand and you'd start to learn your lines according to where you're going to stand and be, or your action. Like I'm peeling an apple, or, Muriel comes in, or Henry with a pizza. So, and then Wednesday was the run through for producers, and we all got scared because we didn't like the producers. They were the guys in the suits. They were the writers, but we were the kids who were the actors. And Ted was even scared of them too. He didn't like them. So he'd go, he got nervous before each run through, and it would be like a producer run through at 4 p.m. at the end of the day, Wednesday. And that always went okay, because then the producers would have notes and we would always get our feelings hurt. We were so immature at times. I can't believe how much we told a lot of dirty jokes. Ted was the funniest on the set. It was just fun working with him. He was like a real dad. And then we were all the bad guys. You had to be there to understand how the family, it was like we were in a family, The guest star would come in, they're the new guy, we'd have to be on our best behavior for the guest star. And we had a lot of cool guest stars from Broadway, really big ones. Bill Dana was a regular. My Name, Jose Jimenez, remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I still have the 45 of that.
Oh, wow. Awesome. And we had Ray Middleton, who was in South Pacific on Broadway. And we had Audrey Meadows, of course. She was my grandmother from The Honeymooners. Selma Diamond from Night Court. She was Mrs. Rapkin. Oh, I love her deep, husky voice. We had a lot of really cool actors. Oh, Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. His first big break was on our show. He played a bank robber, and we ended up spilling the money all over him at the end of it. Was a hysterical show. Lots of guest stars. So anyway, by Thursday, we had a camera run through when it gets cold and you have the cameras on, and it's cold in the studio all day because the cameras need cold air for some reason. They were rolling multicam before cameras, and then the director would be up in a booth. And then we go to our dressing room, have lunch, and then Friday was the big day. We'd film a show live in front of an audience in the evening, but at 1 p.m. we'd film a show for real without the audience. And then they could cut the two together. And then we'd have the weekend off. But it was always fun because Monday was easy, Tuesday. Yeah.
How for those people who want to act, love to act, but they're a little afraid of memorizing lines, what is your key to that?
Well, oddly enough, I only memorize lines by an action I'm doing. It's interesting when they say, if you're thinking of what you're doing, it's easy. Like, what's my intention in this scene? Oh, it's to convince him that I'm innocent. Or it's to hide I was wearing a skimpy outfit, a waitress outfit. I didn't want Ted to see it, my father, Henry. So I pulled a pillow up, and everything he asked me, I was in the moment, like improv. I'm listening. If you're listening well to the other actor, you don't have to worry about memorizing that much. But if you have a big speech, it's just, you have to memorize it. And I do it in chunks, and I record it into I record it on a tape. I have a app here for recording, and I play it over and over and over in my car on the way to an audition. I play my own lines. I do both parts, but I do the other part in a deep voice like that. And then I do my lines normally. Okay. And the other way I memorize is, this is going to sound crazy, but I have synesthesia, which is color. The letter M is yellow for me. My whole life, I've had these things where I see letters in color. So B is always a grayish blue. M is always yellow. K is kind of a dark burgundy. R is burgundy. I don't know where these colors come from, but they help me because Monroe and Monday is yellow. So whenever I have an M in the script, that helps. And that's very strange. I don't know how to explain that. It's one of those, it's a brain anomaly, but you just have to do it. You have to commit yourself to memorizing, try to place objects for yourself, like you pick up a coffee cup in that part where you want to get your point across, and really think of what you're trying to convey, and study the message behind the scene before you memorize, so you know what your intention is. I don't know, how do you do it, David?
I don't know. So I actually, no, I have done it with a cassette recorder. You know, when we had the cassette recorders, I've done it that way. I just go over, one line at a time, and then I add the next line, and then I do the 3 lines, and then I add the 4th line, and then I do the 4 line. And then sometimes I get help with somebody if it's not sticking. And then also I do picture the connection of, if it's talking about fruit, I see the fruit in my mind and connect it. And then
Picture it.
Yeah. And
It
then,
also helps to write out the story in your own words.
yeah.
And improv is the best way to learn acting, I think, because you're listening to the other actor and you're playing off of them, and that's what it's all about. Acting is communicating.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Pam, for that question too.
Pam,
Welcome.
yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Guys, I know we have some students. We have about 15 minutes more. So
There's a woman named Jamisa and someone named Mark. Wait,
yes, let
Mark Wells and Jamisa.
we'll do that. We'll get Jamesia right here. Let's see. There we
Oh,
go.
and
Hey, Jamesia.
Oh, hi.
hi.
Jimmy.
Hi, Liddy.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good, thank you.
How long you writing the book stories?
How long? How long?
How long you writing the book?
Oh God, it's embarrassing. I keep saying 2 years, but it's actually been over 5 years already, because I changed it. It was in the beginning, it was a series of essays about raising aliens, boys, living with a Neanderthal, and my logo, my log line is all human suffering is caused by Victoria's Secret. And I wrote a series of funny essays about Hollywood and being a mother of raising boys, and teenagers are not nice people, all that kind of stuff. And I honed my comedy through this book. It's a series of essays I'd written throughout my life. And then someone said to me, your book's too funny. Where's the authentic story? And I began to realize, oh, wow. After my mom died, I found letters she wrote me. And a treasure chest opened up of my father's history in Russia and China. He was a violinist in Shanghai, and he fled after the Japanese had locked the city. He was admitted to a great music school in America, and he couldn't get in, couldn't leave China. And then my great grandmother, Harriet Beecher Stowe. There's little stories are sprinkled in and out now. And it's more of a linear story with the funny. It's hard to do a book. I'm just going to say it right there. Jamisa, you should write a book. Try it one day. Got to start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere. Thank you, Jamesia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Mark Wells. Mark Wells is up.
Luke too, I see. Hi, Mark.
During your Fox 5 run, syndication on Fox 5, just after the ABC switched to Fox 5,
Right.
you, Deborah, Ted, Jim, and Nancy did the Match Game Hollywood Squares out on NBC Channel 4 in New York.
Yes.
How did you get on that game show during the Fox 5 era?
Wait, now what's your question? What was it like being on the game show?
Match Game Hollywood Squares hour.
What was it like?
Yeah.
Oh my God, those were fun. Apparently I'm on almost every night on Buzzer and Pluto.
I saw you.
Thank you. You've got a good memory. Well, it's interesting when you said Fox 5, because ABC had our show for 3 years, and then we went to become the Fox Network's first run syndication deal. It's a complicated story, but Fame and Too Close for Comfort were the first 2 shows on Metro Media, the new Fox network back then. So
before the transition to Fox in 1980s.
Right, exactly. But we did all these game shows and Match Game Hollywood Squares. I think Paul Lind was still there. Do you remember?
Oh, I
I
love.
remember Paul Lynn when we did with Peter Marshall era.
Yeah, well, we did
On
one
NBC.
show with Paul Lind, and he was sitting above me, and I remember he was in the middle square, and I was right below him, and he had wine. I remember it dripped on my head somehow at one point.
You think he did it on purpose?
He's so funny. Oh my God. From Bewitched.
Oh,
I used to love Paul Lind so much in Bewitched.
I
He's
love
the
him.
funniest guy in the world. And then Jim Bullock got that center square, but we all did a family match game Hollywood Squares. It was a lot of fun. And Password, I remember I won $50,000 for a contestant. I beat Fred Grandy from Love Boat, and he went to Yale on Super Password.
I love that. Thank you, Mark.
Those shows were fun because they were easy, because you go to do 5 shows, 5 match game Hollywood Squares in one day. They said, bring a different blouse and we'll look like you're on a different day. So they film 5 in one day and it looks like you're on different days, right? That's the trick they use. And they pay you only one paycheck for that. Anyway.
Great question.
Thank you for that, Mark.
Oh, it was my birthday on Monday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Wow.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Celebrate all week, all month.
How are we doing on time here? Let's see. Let's do Lanzarote. Lanzarote record. We'll just we'll go down the list of the little hands that I see.
And Luke has been up for quite a while too. So.
Okay. We'll go right down the line.
Perfect.
Okay. I have a question for Lydia Cornell. I have
Hi,
a question for
Lanzarote.
you. Okay. How long have you been doing your podcast?
The podcast. That's really interesting. I have a trademark because I had so many of these sparkling coincidences, I call them, that are uncanny. It's called God shot. So the small g, it's not religious. God shot is an uncanny coincidence that's so unusual. And Einstein said, coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. So I couldn't explain these things. And I started this podcast in 2020. And it came about as a God shot. So I have a trademark and I'm going to try to build that. I come from the angle of not believing, I'm not religious. My partner is a doctor, a doctoral candidate and a nurse. And she did test studies of patients who, and they lowered their cholesterol levels through positive thinking or meditation and prayer. So we're going to try to do science proving the power of positive thinking through science. It's kind of like proving love, that the force of love exists.
Yeah.
And it's tangible and it really helps you and it really works when you apply it.
It
But
sounds
thank you for asking.
it sounds like a meditative podcast where it's truly healing.
Yes, and it's metaphysical and it's got a lot of humor in it. So merging the idea of science and God has always been interesting to me, but I don't believe in the fundamentalist religion so much as the power of love. Love is our birthright. We're all here to love each other. And to spread love. But thank you. I'll send my podcast link to David. It's called God Shots and it's on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm gonna start watching. When's the next one?
I'm interviewing a book author on the 21st. We just started launching officially last Thursday, but we've been doing them on and off for the past couple of years. So April 21st.
April 21st. Got it.
Thanks, Lanzarote.
You're welcome. Thank you having me.
Thank you, honey.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey. How you doing? Actor to actor. I like this.
And you're an actor, right?
Yeah, well, you bring up the guy named Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters, right?
I love Ernie.
But I met him when I did that show called Secret Life American Teenager.
Oh, you did that show?
With him, 5 seasons.
Oh,
But the question is to you, the show, Too Close for Comfort. If they have a season finale, how you move on and think about the cat. Like how you say goodbye to the cat itself when you leave the show.
Didn't get to do that. And I just had lunch with Nancy Dussault, my mom, who's 81, and she looks incredible. We met her at the beach in Ventura for lunch with her husband, Val. He directed Too Close for Comfort, too. Nancy, my mom, said that Ted Knight did not want the family in the show anymore in the 6th year. He wanted to be a single man and start a new life as a newspaper editor or something. And he tried to he didn't want us in the show anymore. That was what the truth was in the 6th year. I just found out that he didn't want her in the show either, but her manager fought for her to be in, so she got to be in the new. Isn't that weird? I don't know what he was thinking, because poor man.
Did it last much longer after that?
He passed away that year, after that season, that strange season where we did season 6. We didn't get a finale, unfortunately.
Oh, I see that. Because I heard the name, some reader coming when you met him, say, how you feel about losing some reader? I know it's sad. Think of him, but how you feel about some reader himself.
Interesting. Yeah. Hey, did you said you were did you know Anson Williams, who directed The Secret Life of the American Teenager? Anson Williams?
Yes.
From Happy Days. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, we had Anson on here.
Oh.
And it wasn't a big class, but we had Anson, and then we surprised him with Luke, because
Luke, I know I recognize you.
and his lovely co-worker on the show, Michelle, who's here.
Awesome. So
Yes,
keep on.
wonderful Michelle Marks.
Yeah, the question is,
Luke.
are you me song reader? What happened? Like, do you miss him? What you story about song reader?
When you say reader.
Oh, John Ritter.
Oh, John
how
Ritter.
How do you?
I miss him.
Yeah.
He died too soon. He died at 52 years old.
So young.
It was so sad. I don't understand how people can leave us that are so iconic. And I grew up he was on the air when I was on the air. In fact, our night of TV was Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, Too Close for Comfort, and then Heart to Heart. So we were on the best night of TV, the big comedy Tuesday nights. And it was sad when we lost John Ritter, and I do miss him. But he was so much fun. He would come in and sit with us and joke around on Mondays.
Oh.
Great guy. Great guy.
That's something I remember. There's certain moments you remember in your life, and I just remember his passing. It was like such a shock.
I know.
But we have a few more questions here, as you can see. What time do you have to leave?
I'm fine. I can hang out another 15 minutes maybe, or.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I want to go with what's best for you.
That's fine.
Thank you. Ryan Jameson. Here we go.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Good, good.
Nice smile.
What question do you have, Ryan?
You know, I'm starting to get back to my creative writing again. I actually had a story in my head, but I just couldn't get it out.
Can you do it standing up and out loud? Because sometimes I write best when I record into a recorder.
You want me to stand up instead?
No. I meant starting to write your story. Start from the one most exciting moment of your life, or the weirdest moment of your life, or the most painful moment of your life. And then you can flash backwards or go forwards if that pivotal moment in your life changed everything. Or a moment where you loved somebody so deeply. You start from a moment. That's where I like to start. To tell a story. I don't know if that will help you.
That's gorgeous. We have a poetry class here at Performing Arts Studio West. So, I know, Ryan, you're a part of that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that might be the next trigger for the next poem.
There's a great book for actors that I always tell. I taught at LMU. I taught acting for screenwriters right before the pandemic. And it was on its feet. We were in a black box theater.
Yeah.
But the book I love, there's two books. One's called Audition by Michael Shurtleff. It's the best book on acting I've ever read because he talks about incorporating humor and love into every character you play. Even if you're a serial killer, they're looking for love, they're lacking love, there's something missing, there's something about love in there. And that makes every audience, when the audience is watching an actor on the screen, they look at the actors who have love there somewhere, or humor. Like Robert De Niro always incorporates humor into his crazy characters.
Right.
And you want to watch him more and more because he's somewhat funny, even if he's supposed to be a dark character. And this other one, well, I have Stanislavski, but the other book I love is called, for you, Ryan, or anybody writing, it's called How to Write Your Own Monologue. Write your own monologue, your own life story. And it's a book that teaches you how, and I don't know if that's the title. I think it is. How to Write Your Own Monologue. That'll get you on your feet. When I say on your feet, I mean stand-up comedy wise, or to do a one-man show, to tell your life story in a short piece for 20 minutes.
Mm.
And that'll help you.
I tell stories in real life about about how I grew up.
Cool. Wonderful. I'd love to see that sometime.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Let's see. Oh, Jonathan Roth, you're up. The lovely Lydia.
Hello.
Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm good. My dad has been a big fan of yours and something can remember.
Your dad?
And it would mean a lot to him if there was any way for him to follow his dreams.
To what?
There is a way for him to follow his dreams.
Oh, yeah. Your dad you're talking about?
I am, yeah.
And do you want me to write him a note or send him a picture or just tell him how he can follow his dream?
I want to give him advice about his dreams because he's been watching you show ever since he was in his teen days.
I love your dad for that. Give him my love. Give him a big hug for me.
Is he there now?
No, he's not. He's in a meeting right now.
Darn it. Well, I would love to, talk to him or send him a nice note or a little message or something. Just tell him I give him my love and I want him to follow his dream.
I will.
But what is his dream?
His dream is to where he creates buildings, and I think he does his love of many buildings, which is a year ago.
He builds buildings?
Yeah, and I think he got his love by watching you snow.
Oh, how fun. By the way, we went to visit the Too Close for Comfort house, that beautiful, crazy red house.
Yeah.
I have a picture in the background somewhere. And the woman who owns it now, God, that thing went up in value to $4 million. She had us come in and she gave us a tour and then she sat down and now we're friends with her. Lois Goodwill. She's a really cool woman. And now we're friends and we write letters back and forth. So architecture is a cool career.
Yeah.
Tell your dad hi from me.
I will.
Give him a big hug for me, okay?
This is wonderful. I noticed that gorgeous lady with wings behind you.
Oh, this is the Southern California Motion Picture Council. I got this award for the Golden Halo Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes.
Very sweet. For doing hundreds of TV shows and movies. It was an honor.
Yeah.
The ceremonies are really fun.
Gorgeous.
Awards aren't that important, but they're fun. But as we noticed, the award ceremonies aren't that classy anymore.
I know it's like life has changed so much, but it's that shift again. Awards or love? I'll take the love.
Yeah. And getting rid of ego, being more
right.
What would the other person, how do you make someone else feel good? I mean, how do you get off yourself? Self-centered fear is just such a nightmare.
And it feeds you more when you're given the love there because it'll bounce right back.
Exactly.
Well, I never said that. I always do Corey Allen. I used to study with Corey Allen, and he would always do this motion about giving, because I used to just give.
Oh.
He would do this, but I never thought of it as if you toss the love out there, the love
Bounces back.
back.
Well, actually, the truth is, I had someone on my show last week who went through financial hell, and he said the minute he started giving without any thought of return, the money came back to him. He gave generously. A friend came and he said, I'm going to lose my apartment. This wasn't just a friend, it was his sponsor who'd helped him in life. And he said, I'm going to lose my apartment. Is there any way you could loan me $500? And he said, yeah, right away. He didn't have that much in his bank account. And that day, he went to the market, got a scratcher ticket, and he won $500. And he said to his friend, you don't have to pay me back. The universe paid me back already. And then he started giving this homeless guy $5. They always hear these things, don't give homeless people money. But he said, no, I think I want to give this guy $5. And every time he saw him, he just gave him. A year later, the guy was on his feet, had a job, and had a place to live. So you never know what your generosity is doing. You don't have, some people can't give that way.
Yeah.
But he didn't have it to give anyway. But Wayne Dyer says that the more you tithe or give, the more you receive. And he kept getting royalty checks back, triple the amount. It's an abundance principle.
Yeah. Well, there's an abundance of love here, and Christina Tevis is on now, and she's a big ball of love. Hello, Christina.
Morning, David.
Lift your head up a little. I want to see that gorgeous face.
Oh, what a pretty smile.
Right here.
Look cute.
So what question do you have, Christina?
Man, I like her, and you see, so pretty girl with the so cute and pretty.
Thank you. You're pretty and cute too. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I need a question for you. What is the favorite acting you're dancing?
What was my favorite acting experience or dancing?
The dance.
I wish I could dance better, and I might one day be on Dancing with the Stars. I don't know, but did I dance any? Oh, I did a Fantasy Island early on where they made me play a Broadway chorus dancer, and they made me come to work at 4 a.m. and rehearse with a Broadway choreographer out at the Paramount Movie Ranch. It was the Warner Brothers Movie Ranch. Yeah. So it was really crazy. And he had me flying in the air, and this exists somewhere. It's Fantasy Island in 1982, maybe, or something. I did 6 Love Boats, 2 hotels, 1 Fantasy Island, a Charlie's Angels, and a TJ Hooker. That's like 15 Aaron Spelling shows.
Wow.
I count very well, 13, I think. But that was fun dancing. That was really fun. And then I had to sing that old black magic. They took me into a recording studio.
Oh, how fun. That's so fun that they cast you and you weren't necessarily a dancer, but that's what acting, dancing, singing, it all comes together.
I don't sing as well as I was never one of those actors that went to the Performing Arts Academy and studied singing and dancing. I just wanted to be an actor, and I made a beeline for Hollywood after college. 3 auditions, and my 3rd one was The Charm, but it was a wacky audition. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. We could go. You have several books in you.
Yeah.
Christina, thank you.
Hey, Christina, you're beautiful.
Okay, well, we could go on and on, but we have time for 2 more questions. Let's go, Jason.
Them all. We can do all.
Oh, we can do them all?
Yeah.
Oh,
how many more are there?
We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave anyone out. Yeah.
Okay, so we have those 8. Let's see.
Okay.
I just want to be sure where we're ending here because we might have somebody add a bit more. So we have till Santiago is the last one there. So, okay. Jason is next. Here we go. Jason here.
Hello, my name is Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Um, uh, I remember the happy days, because I saw what his name was, the Happy Days mom.
Fonzie.
Fonz, yeah, and me, yeah, and so yeah, I like the Happy Days
Yeah.
and the what they call the Love Boat.
That was such a cute show. I think we need that back. We need some happiness back in our society where everything's
Yeah.
just beautiful and you're on a boat and you meet people and you could fall in love. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
fun? Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready too.
This is
I
our
haven't dated in
show.
2.5 years.
That was
Oh,
so
really? You're not
cool.
never. We'll talk later.
Oh, good. Set me
I
up.
fell in love 3 years ago, and I'm in the best place ever. But before that, I got dumped badly by a guy. It was so painful.
Ooh.
Dumped really badly. He
Mm-mm,
proposed
no.
marriage and dumped me in a text the next day.
Oh my, what?
Oh, okay. Let me tell you, that was a blessing in a way. You didn't have to go
Blessing.
through marriage with him.
Oh God, yes. Every single thing bad that happens is the seed of something better. Every bad thing has a silver lining. I totally believe that.
Thank you, Jason. That
Thank you,
sure led
Jason.
us places.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Matthew Selden is next. Hello, my friend.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. What a cool background. What is that?
It's the Evolution Land.
Oh, I love it.
Plus, I'm an animator.
Awesome. Wow, I love
And
it.
I used to make cartoons.
Oh, I love it. I love your animation.
Oh, thanks.
Evolution. EVE. Oh, that's cool. Looks like a Star Wars character there, kinda, almost. Oh, he's so cute. Okay. so
Right.
you have-
And also, I have a question. So along with the books and yeah, TV shows, so I appeared as one of the actress.
I did Too Close for Comfort, my own series, which I played this girl, Sarah.
Oh, I see.
And there's Monroe, that's me. I played the daughter of Ted Knight, the blonde. And I was supposed to be the dumb blonde, but I was actually very innocent and naive. The audition, someday I got to tell the audition story. But I was also on 6 Love Boats, Hotel, Knight Rider, A-Team, Simon and Simon, Hunter, Hardball, Quantum Leap, Full House. I played DJ Spanish teacher on Full House. And Bob Saget and I had a big kissing scene.
Oh, I see.
I was in a movie with James Earl Jones and Jose Ferrer.
Oh,
they
my.
were Oscar-winning actors.
Yeah.
My first movie was in Greece, in the Greek Isles, and I had to drown and swim out in the Aegean Sea. And we lived on an island called Monembasia, not an island, a rock of Gibraltar with an isthmus. And we all lived there for 9 weeks. And it was a Byzantine fortress where donkeys would carry the camera equipment to the top. And we all lived in these caves. We actually, it was a Byzantine castle, but a lot of our scenes were down in caves in the water. James Earl Jones was a scuba diving, a fellow character, and I was his best friend, and I die in that movie.
Oh.
And my body, he comes and finds my body, and the director kept saying, Lydia, to look dead, I want you to open your eyes and keep your mouth open, and the sun and the salt water coming in and out of your eyes, and don't move. And I'm like, how am I going to keep my eyes open with the sun in my eyes?
I know, right? Oh my God.
Actors have to do crazy things.
But to be your first movie in Greece.
Oh my God, it was beautiful.
Oh, that's my
Martin
dream location to go.
Oh God, it was, well, we were in a weirder area of it, a real weird fortress, a Byzantine monastery. And we had a big clipper ship where the crew from Malta, the crew was from Malta, the sound crew was from Mexico, the actors were American, the producers were British, and no one could communicate. The Greek people couldn't understand the Mexican people, the sound people. So it was like the Tower of Babel. But it was so much fun. And Martin Cove was in it with me. He's on that Karate Kid.
Oh, yes.
Martin Cove. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, what a cast. And James Earl Jones. Oh, my
James Earl
God.
Jones. It was really fun. But they tried to get me to go topless and I wouldn't. So I had to figure out tricks to trick them. And it's hard to be a young woman in this industry. So the wardrobe lady and I couldn't communicate. She spoke only Greek and I'm going, cover this. How do you cover this? And I'm out on the beach behind a big rock in a bikini. And she said, oh, I have an idea. Zinc oxide. It's this white cream you could put over you and it doesn't come off in the water. And we tricked them. They couldn't use the footage of me. They tried to make me look topless from the back. And I dove in the water and there's an underwater camera following me it felt like I swam 20 miles. It was like I swam at least a mile.
Yeah.
And the director kept going, cut, cut. And I couldn't hear him. And he kept making me swim way out. Underneath was an underwater camera. And all they could catch was white zinc oxide.
Hey, I've got to connect, just a question to that is when you're on the set, if one of these actors are on the set and somebody says, hey, I want you to go topless and you don't want to, what's your response?
Well, in those days, it was hard because my manager wasn't there to protect me and my union. That's why I love my union, SAG, Screen Actors Guild, because they protect actors. And I had no nudity clause in my contract. They had no right to force me to do that. So they tried to trick me, you know what I mean? And when you're kind of young and naive and you want to please everybody and you don't have a lot of power inside, I wasn't strong enough to just say, no, I will not do it. Instead, I did everything in my power to trick them. Yeah. That was a terribly strange time. Huh. I didn't want to take my clothes off. I didn't want to do nudity. I would never do nudity. For some reason, I just didn't think I didn't want to do it in case I had kids one day. And when I did have my kids, I'm glad I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
that power within, isn't it?
Right. You got to be strong inside. Don't let anyone use you or don't sleep with anybody to get anywhere. Those are the rules. And a lot of young men and women fall prey to that. It's a very big issue in our industry.
All right, we have Lucas Salusky. Lucas, Hollywood is what can I say? It's wonderful and crazy.
But we've overcorrected a little, and now we're coming back to a normalcy, I think.
Yeah.
There's been an overcorrection, which means everyone's against anyone even flirting on the set. But you meet people when you go to work, and you should be able to still meet people when you and fall in love.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
Lucas.
Hi, Lucas.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Lydia.
Thank you.
I've done a lot of music and I've done a lot of animations with Spec Labs. And speaking of Spec Labs, I have an event coming up. It's a concert to the Summer of Spec.
Oh, wow.
I'm inviting you and all of BASW friends there.
Thank you. Great. Thank you. When is it?
It's June 17th. I'm also inviting Miley Cyrus there, so...
Oh, cool.
Prepared.
She's amazing.
You guys are not a big fan of Miley. But
thank you so much, Lucas.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lucas. Very nice. Well, I've got to get out to that. Now we have Raquel Chavez. Raquel Chavez.
Hi.
Raquel, I love your name.
Thank you. My mom gave me that name. I had a question for you. What inspired you being an actress and why?
Why did I want to be one? Oh.
Was like why you being an experience of being an actress and why?
Okay, I'll tell you, I love your question, why, and what's it like, the experience of being an actress. When I was a little girl, 5 years old, my parents took me to Disneyland, and I became in love with make-believe. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to be a princess, and I want all those silly things. But I got lost in Sleeping Beauty's castle, and I think the police had to find me. I was gone. Honestly, it was really weird. I don't know where I went, but they couldn't find me, and there were suddenly police everywhere. And I just was wandering, and I realized maybe it's because I had a really rough childhood. I had a very critical mother. God bless her. I love her now. I total forgiveness. But I think it made me feel like I needed to be in an altered state of reality. And I wanted to play make-believe my whole life. That's why I love to write stories. I love to find the gold inside something, the sparkly bits. And it's just a sense of wanting magic, wanting to be transported out of your own reality. And that may not be such a great thing, because if I had a really normal, happy childhood, I may never have done anything but just had lots of babies, which is something I wish I'd had more of, frankly. But it takes a long time to find yourself. So I'm grateful for everything that ever happened. Because if one domino hadn't been in place, I wouldn't have this child I have, or I wouldn't have had this amazing moment with you guys, or the sobriety that I have so gifted with. Any door you take can lead you down a different path. But I love acting. When I was in high school, actually when I was in 7th grade, I went to the Y-Tween, the YMCA, and I enrolled in an acting class. And I became in love with playing a different character. And then in high school, I took an acting class, and I had a teacher who looked at me, and he was such a great guy, Dr. Hazeltine, Mr. Hazeltine. And I did a monologue, a soliloquy from The Glass Menagerie. I played Tom. And I did this whole monologue, and he was looking at me like this, going, and I have tricks in my pocket. I have things up my sleeve, but I'm no ordinary magician. Whatever I did, I transported myself to a different character, a different universe. And the teacher looked at me like, that's amazing. And that inspired me to go on and do plays and to audition for plays. And my best friend Monroe and I were in every play in high school from that moment on. I played Petra, an enemy of the people. He played Aslaksen in Ibsen's Enemy of the People. Then we did Othello as torchbearers, and then we played Playboy of the Western World, and we just loved theater.
And I loved how you played Tom.
Oh, yeah.
The role of Tom, because, why not?
Exactly. It was the best part in the beginning,
Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Let's see. We have Monique. There she is. Dun, dun, dun.
Hi. How long you be there on the Happy Days? I love the Happy Days. A long time.
I was on Too Close for Comfort. We came on after Happy Days.
Right.
But I did break in the set on Happy Days. So I was there.
Who's your favorite part in the Happy Days?
Oh, Fonzie.
Fonzie?
I love Fonzie.
He's cute and funny, huh?
Isn't he
He's
cute?
very
That
funny.
leather jacket. Yeah.
But
Everybody
I
has
like
crush
you
on-
though, but you're doing good on Happy Days.
Thank you, but I wasn't on that. I did break into the set on Happy Days, and I had a really one of my best friends was Gary Marshall for years after that. And Gary Marshall, I never had the courage to ask him for a role in a movie. He directed Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts, and he was the producer of Happy Days. And I kept seeing him everywhere. We hung out together. He and Penny and I became good friends. And I still was too shy to say, hey, could I have a part in one of your movies? I don't know why, but he did ask. He saw me at a Mark Taper Forum play, and he goes, the paparazzi was chasing me for some reason. And he goes, Lydia, I'm going to read for a play I'm doing, Crimes of the Heart, at the Falcon Theater. So I went in and read for him for that. I think Morgan Fairchild got the part.
Well, the thing is, you've had many happy days on Too Close for Comfort and
many
shows, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Love
That was
that. We have two more to round off this amazing and wonderful visit. And thank you again for this. Miss Katie Kennedy. There she is. Katie Kennedy at Spotlight.
Katie.
Let's see.
Hi. I hope some movies. Angel.
Did you say angel?
And Angels, Charlie's Angels, did you, what about Charlie's Angels?
Another
She looks like, I know,
fruit pod.
she is an angel.
Oh, you're sweet. I wish. Not really. Hardly.
We all have our.
I am so not an angel. No. I aspire to be a little better every day. Yeah, I got to do Charlie's Angels. That was fun. My first Aaron Spelling show. And I stood behind Shelley Hack, between Shelley Hack and Cheryl Ladd.
Yeah.
And my friend Steve Summers always sends me clips from my scenes. He goes, "You're peeking out between them." Trying to be seen. Oh my God.
Oh,
But it was, and then Vic Gautier played in that role. I played a real estate broker in my first my only Charlie's Angels. Right. And Dick Gautier, who was the Piney the robot on Get Smart, ended up playing on our show, Too Close for Comfort, as Muriel, my mother's boyfriend, in some other episode. So he was sort of a semi-regular for a couple episodes. And he starts flirting with me, Muriel's daughter. And I'm doing a headstand on Too Close for Comfort in my yoga outfit. And that was a really funny episode because I was in love with him from Get Smart. So it's kind of fun having guest stars on the show.
I know that you grew up, you know, it's so fun when you're in the business and then you meet and get to work with people that you admired.
Totally. It's so much fun.
Santiago.
How are you?
Hi, Santiago.
What is your name, Santiago Mayo Giraldo? Is class John Pisces, my Medin, my favorite class, my friends.
Oh.
¿De dónde es? ¿De qué país?
Yo estaba en Colombia.
Colombia.
En Artesas y trabajaba en casa de Carla y me vine para acá, para Los Ángeles.
¿Usted vive en Los Ángeles ahora vive en Los Ángeles?
No.
No, en Colombia.
Los Ángeles, California.
Sí. Yo soy del El Paso, Texas, junto a Juárez. Desde niña, edad de 12, I used to speak Spanish very well because I was raised on the border in El Paso.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
Thank you, Lydia Cornell.
Thank you, Santiago. Mucho gusto.
Thank you, David Zimmerman.
Oh, thank you, Santiago. You're a blessing.
You're welcome.
Oh, I
very,
love this.
very nice to see you. Thank you, Santiago. Mucho gusto conocerte.
I love this family. I do.
It's so sweet.
One last question for you. What do you want the most at this moment in your life?
I want my son to call me back. And I want him to have a baby. I want grandchildren someday. But what I really want creatively is to see the book I'm writing produced as a TV series. Because it's about how to create a really good soul out of broken pieces. And it's about falling up in life. It's something, I haven't seen comedy that helps people. And I want to see that where it's palatable, where it's something people would want to watch, not something they're spoon fed that's too spiritual or too, boring. But there's a new kind of comedy that I have been writing for years. And I want to get rid of my own demons of fear, procrastination, and just get it out there because I have been sitting on it too long.
Well,
For
I know
me, it's a personal goal right now.
I know when it comes out, it's going to be exciting, and I love the audio versions too. Are you thinking of doing an audio book?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
I think so.
Yeah, and I want world peace. I want to stop all these. I just wish the truth could come out. We could have no more fake news and propaganda and lies. And when you go to the higher thoughts, which are usually thoughts of love, peace, no regret, shame, or guilt, That's the thoughts. Those are the higher thoughts we need to tap into. So whenever you try to make a decision in life, if you go to the higher thoughts and they're inside you, they're your higher nature. Like I'm always combating my lower nature, but that's kind of the theme of life. But when you really tap into your higher nature, you operate from a different level of trust, and things go better in your life, and people are more friendly, and you're friendlier, and you're more open and giving, and a lot of health issues clear up as well. But we're all valuable and wonderful, and we all deserve, our platform to do creative work. There's a room for everybody. There's never any limits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia Cornell. Hey, let's all thank Lydia. And what we're going to do is we'll do a little snapshot of everyone on the count of 3. Okay, on the count of 3, we're going to smile or whatever. 1, 2, 3.
We'll be back with Sarah Rush and tomorrow's weather after this.
Sarah Rush? Sarah Rush? Did I hear him say Sarah Rush?
That's what he said.
What's our Sarah doing on TV?
I don't know. Sarah's on TV.
We know.
Did I hear someone say Sarah's on TV?
Everybody said she's on TV.
She's coming on.
And now, filling in for Selma Wong, here's Sarah Rush. Sarah, what's in store for us weather-wise? Sarah, you're on.
What? I'm on?
Oh!
Hi, I'm Sarah Rush.
Wrong camera.
Oh. Hi, I'm Sarah Rush with tomorrow's forecast. Today. Tonight. Or now. There will be some rain falling in parts of Louisiana.
Got it on Wyoming.
And Wyoming.
Not Wyoming.
With the exception of Wyoming. There will be some sun clouds over the Great Lakes area.
It's Texas.
So what? Everybody likes some sunshine.
No, that's down. You're getting into Mexico. Move it up. Don't press it. Go lean on it to Mexico. Sarah? How are you?
Not too good, Dad. I have this terrible conflict that I need to discuss with you so I can get it resolved.
Okay. Sit down.
No, thanks. I'd rather stand.
Why are you...
Good evening. This is Sarah Rush with the 6 o'clock news break. 7 Sicilian sailors sought in suspected smuggling scheme seized at San Simeon, sources said Saturday. President Reagan has asked former Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin to advise on Mideast peace talks. An earthquake rumbled through war-torn Managua, Nicaragua this morning. And Soviet leader Yuri Andropov tours the Ukraine. Details on these and other stories tonight at 11.
Very good, Sarah. In fact, ladies, you were both excellent. Now, what I want each of you to do is give me an in-depth commentary on the Mideast peace talks. Sarah, since you're in place, we'll start with you.
But that's not in my script.
It's not supposed to be. They just want your opinion of the situation.
My opinion. Well, in my opinion, the Mideast peace talks are a very good thing. And wouldn't it be wonderful if peace came out of them? Of course, it was very wise of President Reagan to ask the former Israeli Prime Minister for his help in this, because Mr. Begin is Jewish and President Reagan isn't. We could have a war on our hands any minute if these peace talks don't get started. And that is only going to drive up the price of bagels and gasoline.
love it. Thank you, Lydia.
Lydia, thank you
much.
so much. What a wonderful, wonderful hour and a half we got to spend together with you. And it's such a pleasure to
Hey, John.
hear your backstory. Hi, Alec. How are you, man?
Thank you.
Thank
so
you for being
much.
so generous with your time and your feelings and your thoughts about things, and just continued massive success moving forward.
Blessings to everybody. Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful group you are. I love you all.
We love you.
Bravo.
Bye.
Ah, this is so wonderful. She's a new part of the family, isn't she?
I love it.
We are family. All right, everybody. Love
Thank
you,
you.
and we'll see you next week. And again, thank you, Lydia.
See you tomorrow, David.
Thanks, everybody. Have a
tomorrow.
great afternoon.
All righty. Bye.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. And
Bye,
Lydia,
guys.
thank you very much.
Bye,
Linda.
And from the people for our
We
festival.
love you.
I love you.
Stay safe.
Okay, love you.
Okay?
Love you, David.
Bye, David.
Yeah.
Lydia Cornell.
I
will see you again
I
that time.
Kissing
David.
Barbara is my favorite.